Hello, lovely people. It is Victoria. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. And it has been a minute since I actually filmed a long form video, and it's been a little over a week, I think, since I uploaded one. At least that wasn't a cover. I was in a burst for a minute, but I kind of fell out of the habit. And I do have two videos that I filmed a few weeks ago that I need to edit, but it's one of those situations where I just got to get on here and we got to connect. Okay. We got to have a conflab. And thank you to the show Glow Up, by the way, for working the word conflab into my vocabulary, because I feel like it's very underused. And I'm clenching my hands, and you know that means I feel strongly about something. So basically, we gotta talk about Heated Rivalry. Okay, we gotta talk about Heated Rivalry. And I literally, this is like slumber party vibes, okay? I'm wearing this nightie, this little nightgown. It's actually I got it in order to wear it out, because I feel like it's very late 90s club vibe. I'll probably take a better video and show you. But it's super short, a little slutty, silky, gorgeous nightgown, and I love it. And I have not worn it out. Actually, don't go out really anymore. I do want to. I have this goal where I want to go out and dance and just live life and be happy, sober and not drink, but I have not been to a club or a bar or anything since New Year's Eve of 2024. But I have my nightgown on. I just got out of the shower, and also I painted my nails earlier. They're this, it's First Timer by Essie. It's super separated, but I shook the hell out of it, and it's actually the same color as the bar of Irish Spring soap that's in my shower currently, so that was a fun little moment. And I kind of low-key regret doing my nails off camera because that's so slumber party vibes, but I have not done anything to my face yet. I haven't done my skincare routine, and I also have not done a face mask in a minute, so I'm gonna put on a face mask. And I have tea with me. We have herbal tea. The tea is piping hot because I had 2 cans of Coke today and I need to start winding down. And I don't have a plan with this video. I didn't write a script or anything. This is not really gonna be a super structured, thought out media commentary like I do sometimes, because I'm in full fangirl mode. Okay, I'm in full fangirl mode. So this is girl talk. Okay, this is gonna be a little saucy. I'm gonna probably giggle a lot. This shit gets me flustered. So we're gonna have a sip of the tea before it starts getting cold, and my face is starting to feel dry, so I'm gonna start putting this on. This, by the way, is the Dermalogica Multivitamin Power Recovery Mask. If you happen to watch my What I Got for Christmas video, this was a Christmas present from my older sister, and I really appreciate it. Basically, this hyperfixation of mine started pretty much exactly 6 days ago. For those of y'all that know, the first part of season 4 of Bridgerton dropped on the 29th. And naturally, I watched it pretty much right after it came out. It was 1 a.m. and I knew I had to go to bed because I had to get up at 8:30. But I was let me just watch the first episode. And then I ended up binging the entire thing. It says apply generously, and I don't use this too often because I've been switching between my 2 masks. So we're going to get a nice thick layer going. So I watched part 1 of season 4, and I'm thinking oh, this is really sexy. I appreciate this, romance. For those of y'all that don't know, oh, by the way, hi, I'm Victoria. I'm a singer-songwriter. I make a wide range of content. I pretty reliably make music content, though. I've been making some form of music content, usually short form, every single day since January 2nd, and I'm just basically seeing how long I can keep that up. But please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell, checking out my music, my socials, and my website. Also, my ASMR channel, linked below. I'm basically just making stuff on there whenever I feel inspired and whenever I have the time. And sometimes my videos are more organized than this. But also, if y'all don't know this about me, I'm a romance enthusiast. I'm a romance fanatic, especially queer romance. If it's gay, if there's a bi character, if there's whatever, I've always been this way. Since I was a teenager, I've loved romance, period, in general. But I just have always had a thing for well done, good gay media. And even if it's a little cheesy or not the most well done, cough, cough, red, white, and royal blue, I really appreciate it. And I love passion. I love yearning. I love panting. This mask feels so nice, by the way, and we are glowy and glistening. So leave this on for 10 to 15 minutes. But I have basically like a yearning kink. I have like a yearning, passion, pining kink. Also, I'm super single and have been for quite a while. I have a romantic debauchery storytime thing that's coming up in a bit that I need to edit. That can add some context to that situation. But I love romance. Frickin' Malik from Shadowhunters, or I mean Klain from Glee. That's like one of my all-time OTPs. But also I love straight couples as well. Frickin' Brett and Casey from Chicago Fire are so fucking cute, and I'm so glad, spoiler alert, that they got married. But so anyway, this is what happens when I don't script my videos. Someone commented on one of my story times on TikTok of like, you should outline what you're going to say first. I'm like, you're so right. Let me not do that for this video. I'm also a recovering Reddit addict. Side note, I don't go on Reddit too much anymore because I used to be really obsessive about it, especially like the negative kind of rage baity ones, like Am I the Asshole? That was my thing. And I would just way overconsume it and would get so consumed with these aggravating stories about people I've never met, and I would just like recount them to everyone in my life, and just everyone got so sick of me. But I'm a recovering Reddit addict. I get hesitant using the word addict casually because I literally am a recovering addict and alcoholic. So, but it was kind of real, honestly. It was kind of pretty close to that level. But I was really enjoying part 1 of season 4 of Bridgerton. And so I was like, I'm curious. Let me check what Reddit is saying about this season so far, because it seemed to be much better reception than season 3. Season 3 was like, okay, but it had a lot of quirks. It had a lot of flaws, and a lot of people did not really like season 3. I feel like season 1 and season 3 are kind of like, eh. Season 1 was pretty great, except for pretty much the marital rape scene that had absolutely no warning to it at all, and was twisted around to make the man the bad guy and like the woman the victim, even though she literally assaulted him. Like, that was a whole thing. I have complicated feelings about Bridgerton, but season 4 was like, this is like season 2 level tension, season 2 level like hotness. I am so down. And I had read, this is a side note about Bridgerton first. I read a summary of the book that season 4 was based on first, so I kind of spoiled it for myself, so I kind of knew what was going to happen. So at the end of episode 4, when Benedict is like, be my mistress, I knew that was going to happen. If I didn't, I probably would have joined everyone else that was like yelling at their screen like, God damn it, Benedict. But I go to Reddit and I'm like, let's see what people are saying about this. And so it was kind of that sentiment of like, he just really fucked up that moment. I've never seen a fumble so bad, whatever. And people were like, oh, it's better than season 3, but this is when I first heard it, and I like multiple comments on this post about like, what do we think about season 4 so far? Multiple comments were like, it's okay, but I prefer Heated Rivalry. It's like, it was okay, it's definitely better than season 3, but I've been binge watching Heated Rivalry, and like the sex scenes and everything are just so much better on Heated Rivalry, just like over and over and over again. And I'm like, what the fuck is Heated Rivalry? So I look it up on YouTube. Turns out this shit had been out for like 2 months. I somehow did not even know that it existed. This is like one of the few good things that Reddit has given me in recent memory. But I like look it up on YouTube, and apparently like everyone's obsessed with it. And I see that your internet mom Ash reacted to it, and both parts of her reaction were up. Yeah, so I first heard about this. I like looked it up and everything on the day that it came out, the 29th, like later on that day. And then the 30th is when I watched Ash's like commentary on it, and I see like snippets of everything. And so I basically spoiled the entire plot line of season 1 for myself, but I was like, I need to watch this show. Holy fuck. So, but it's on Max. Okay. And so then this goes into another horrible thing that happened. We will get to how I actually feel about the show, but like there's so much lore in me actually like discovering and watching this show. So it's on Max, right? And my family and I like have never had a Max subscription, but we used to watch Max through the subscription of a family friend, like my sister's really, really close friend that has since passed away. If you watch my media I reviewed or media I consumed in 2025 video where I'm making gingerbread cookies, it's for this friend's mom. Okay, so this is the friend that passed away. Actually, each of my sisters had a friend that passed away last year. It was really sad, and they were both super sudden. And I got, his password and everything signed in on my computer. and I would watch on my sister's little channel on there. And then when he passed away, his mom, pretty sure, canceled the subscription. So I go on Max to get myself a subscription so that I can watch Heated Rivalry. And I think you can tell where this is going. I see that I'm signed in. It says, sign out, whatever. But I just assumed that I was signed in as myself. I was like, oh, I probably tried to log in as myself and it just didn't work. Because it had been months since I last used this dude's account. It wasn't even like in my head that I could still be signed in as him. But I assume I'm signed in as myself, and I buy myself a subscription because I was logged in, but didn't have the, subscription anymore. Put in my payment, everything, and then I get the payment confirmation and it says, thanks, blank, and it's this person's name. And I was like, holy fuck. So I immediately cancel it, but I have the subscription for the month. Like, I already paid for it, and I didn't want to go through the hassle of like calling it, HBO customer service or whatever the fuck, canceling that in order to get my own. And I didn't want to, pay for it twice in a month. And I was like, it's connected to his email. So unless his mom is checking his email, she wouldn't see it. But I was so like, fuck, I hope she doesn't see that. But I was like, I might as well just finish out this month. But I was also tempted. I was like, should I tell her that this month of his HBO Max is on me so that she can watch some stuff on me? But I didn't know if I should bring that up because I didn't know if that would be like painful or whatever. But that was fucking horrible. That was horrible. But all that to say, I was able to, I'm going to be a lot more careful because, wow, you stay logged in on Max way longer than I thought you did. So I'm going to fix that next month. But I ended up binge watching all 6 episodes of season 1 of Heated Rivalry in one night. Also, when I needed to go to work the next day, literally like Thursday, super early, binge Bridgerton, have to get up at like 9:30-ish, which isn't early, but like I just stayed up really late, got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, did a full ass shift at work, and then had like a day off. And then super at like 10:30 p.m.-ish, start watching Heated Rivalry, binge that, and then get like 4 hours of sleep, and then go into work. And I told my coworker, I was like, you're going to laugh at me again because I binge watched another show and got like 4 hours of sleep. And a thing with me also, I don't know, I think I've mentioned this before, is I tend to have a really weird way of watching shows. It's like the most ADHD way you could possibly ever watch anything. I need to rinse my mouth soon, but like I'll often kind of like hit the 10 seconds ahead button. I'll just kind of like skip through things or watch certain little sections over and over and over again. It's weirdly hard for me sometimes to just like sit, not touch anything, and just watch something completely from beginning to end, unless I'm like with my family and we're watching like a movie or something like that. I very rarely watch things in complete order, like just like a normal person. That's actually pretty rare for me. I watched every second of every episode of this show. And I definitely repeated certain sections quite a few times, but I did not skip over anything. Okay, so I just rinsed off my mask and I'm gonna do the rest of my nighttime skincare routine. I don't always do this thorough of a skincare routine, but I'm feeling pretty. And it's a slumber party, okay? And I also added this necklace because my blue-gray necklace, it goes really cute with this little dress. So, but, oh God, I just spit. But I watched every single fucking second and replayed several areas of multiple times, okay? Reddit was right. Like, goddamn, this show. Yeah. So if you saw my Sips and Tips video, I mentioned briefly that for a long period of time, actually, I felt kind of out of touch with my like sexual relationship with myself and like masturbating and things like that. I feel like the universe rewarded me for my sobriety by allowing me to find this show. And I know that's a dramatic statement, but I was just like, this is karma. This is my karmic reward for like, this is my answer that I've been searching for and wanting to connect with myself more without having to feed into the porn industry. This is amazing. Also, me not really consuming porn and not really connecting with that side of myself for a long time probably allowed me to have this experience, okay? Because I saw also on Reddit that a lot of people were like, I wish I could jerk off to something that tame. I was like, yeah, I guess, okay, I don't know what you're jerking off to, but I guess some people could see this as tame. But you know what? It works for me, okay? It works for me. And I honestly prefer this kind of shit to porn because, like I said, I have a yearning fetish. I have a pining fetish. I have a passion fetish. This is my toner. This is my moisturizer. This is like the best, maybe the best moisturizer I've ever used in my life. This is like my third tub of this stuff. And it tends to last for like 10 months a tub. Like, it's such good value for the money. Anyway, I also ended up, by the way, purchasing 2 of the books because this is based on a series of books. 2 of them, out of order, of course. I had to maintain my MO somewhere. So I got the books Heated Rivalry and The Long Game. And I've read both of them. I literally read all of the Heated Rivalry book today because I had a day off today. So season 1 is based off of Heated Rivalry, the second book. And then there's like a little bit from the first book. This is the Game Changers series. I would have bought all of them, but I don't have a ton of expendable income right now, and I was already indulging myself by allowing myself to get 2. It's basically like 2 rival hockey players, Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, follows them over the course of like 9 years so far, like 8.5 years, and it's so many of the best tropes. It's like enemies to lovers to actual relationship, and then like secret hookup, secret dating thing. We're going to lean more into the secret dating later on, but it is actually, it's super fucking hot. Okay. It's really fucking hot. It is a sexy ass show. I get weird about this, but like, I just need to share this with you. I need to phone a friend. I get what people were saying about it being better than Bridgerton because the sex scenes are longer, more numerous, and kind of like more realistic, but also like way hotter also, but also they're kind of better in like every way, and they're also queer, which one could argue also makes them better in a giant way. Nothing against straight love scenes, but like I said, I have a thing for this. Especially queer men. I think I have a thing for queer men. I've kind of always been that way. I might have a little bit of like a thing. I was going to say fetish. I don't know if it's that far. Everything from like the shower scene and then their first time hooking up. I feel the writing also, besides it being really hot and it gets really romantic, the writing, and it's actually really well done. And my coworkers were laughing at me because I mentioned it when I came in after barely sleeping, and I was like, sorry, I'm just kind of off because I was binge watching a show. And then one of my like MICs was like, oh, what show? And then my coworker friend was cut in for me and was like, Heated Rivalry, and then my OC was like, really? I've been wanting to watch that. And I was like, it's really good. I would recommend. It's just very NSFW. And she's like, yeah, that's what I've heard. And she's like, but it seems like, you know, the representation is really good. And then I go, yeah, honestly, the writing is really good. And I don't know if I just didn't sound believable at all, but they both just started laughing at me and they're like, yeah, sure, the writing is why you watch it. I'm like, it's honestly really good. The writing is really well done. Danny Mata said this, and I appreciate it. There are times that it can lean a little redundant, especially like with Shane's kind of default comebacks being like, fuck you and fuck off and you're an asshole. But also it kind of gradually becomes like their thing. So it's kind of cute. But the writing overall is really good. And I think part of what makes it good is the allowance for simplicity and human language. It's not flowery. And that was kind of a big thing that took me out of Red, White, and Royal Blue at times, is the dialogue leaned a little flowery on several occasions. it kind of felt like it was trying to be Shakespearean or something. I don't know if I want to do a back braid. I think I want to do a side braid. I feel like braiding my hair. Like the writing felt a little labored, a little heavy-handed at times. This feels really natural, and it's one of those things like Ash was saying in her commentary. I talk like I know her. I don't know this woman, but it's better than saying her whole username. She's saying in her commentary, she kept being like, I wrote this, and I'm joking about that, but it just is a sign of good writing when it just like follows what I feel like the natural flow of conversation would be between people. And it's very like, I can easily tune into the vibe of a lot of the scenes. Like their first hookup scene, I feel like I can like read their minds in a way, like, because I've kind of been there, not for as long as they were in this situationship for, but like when Shane gets on the bed and then Ilya's like, what do you want to do? And then Shane was like, I don't know. You can tell that he does know, but he's too nervous to ask for it. But then Ilya is like in tune with that. And so he leans over and he starts like stroking him. And then that allows Shane to relax. And so then he leans back in and then starts going down on Ilya again. And it's like, I just get it. Like, you just get it. Like, I don't know. It's just, you can follow along very well. And the more commentary I consume about this, the more things I'm like noticing that I didn't before. But the use of like microaggressions at different points by different people, like how Shane being half Asian is brought up several times, but never by him, but in kind of a microaggression-y way, even though like one by the Commissioner Montreal Metro's dude and then another by Rose Landry, and it seems like both times they're trying to be like supportive or positive, but it's like kind of well, the first one is very tokenizing and the second one's also kind of tokenizing, but then when they're at the cottage, he is genuinely just asking Shane like, oh, tell me about your parents. I don't know a ton about them. I just know that your mom is Japanese or something, and that's where you get your looks, right? It is just more natural. Like, it's not just the way he talks about it is so like juxtaposed from the way that other people have mentioned Shane's race. So I feel like that's symbolic. I saw someone point out with Cindy's commentary with Elias, the thing about the opening scene, see, this is all over the place. This is what happens when I don't script myself. The opening scene where they meet in the parking lot, if you haven't seen the show, you're probably not going to really get what I'm saying, but you can just laugh at how animated and squirrely I am. But there are some people saying like the opening scene, they're in the parking lot, Ilya is like trying to light a cigarette and he's trying to get this light going over and over and over. He probably tries like 7 times, and then when Shane comes over, then he tries again and then it actually lights. And I saw Elias being like, maybe they didn't actually mean for that to happen, but, you know, people look too much into things. I wouldn't be surprised if that was intentional, because he literally tried to light that thing like 7 or 8 times. So it seemed very intentional that it didn't light until Shane came in. But that is very, like, symbolism. I don't know. Thing with ginger ale, how I would not expect ginger ale to be like so hard to come by, but he asked for it in several places, and then they don't have it, and he's like needs to like substitute something else like sparkling water or whatever. But the one place that he's able to get it is at Ilya's house, and he doesn't even ask for it. Ilya just has it ready for him. It's so fucking cute. But also another place that he does have it, but it seems like he's probably had to ask for it, is Hayden's house. His teammate and close friend Hayden and his wife, they keep it stocked for him as well, which I think also symbolizes that they are safe people for him. There is a little bit of a joke of Hayden tries to set Shane up with one of Jackie's friends, and he's like, it would make Jackie happy, and Shane's like, we both have to make your wife happy now, and he's like, yeah, we do if you want her to make your gross food and keep my house stocked with ginger ale. And I saw a comment being like, Jackie and Hayden keep the ginger ale, but it seems to be conditional if Shane dates her friends or something like that. And I was like, I would like to think that he was mainly joking. I'd like to think that they would do that for him anyway, because I think they are being established as safe people. But I have read The Long Game, and so I'm pretty sure I know like most of what's going to happen in season 2. But I'm not going to spoil that. Another note, if we can talk about the fucking actors, my God, they are so talented. They are so talented. It's crazy. And they're both so fucking beautiful. They are both so beautiful. It's insane. It's insane. And for their first like major acting job, they show so much body. And even with like an intimacy garment or a modesty garment or whatever, I don't understand how they wouldn't just be completely like humping each other's asses. I feel like they just must have been. Connor Story has an incredible ass. I feel like everyone's been mentioning that. So much of the commentary that I've seen has like everyone's mentioned Connor Story's ass and how just like beautifully bubblicious it is. And then multiple people also comment on the lamps. Like compliment the lamps. Ass and lamps, those are like the two things that get noticed by like everybody. It's so funny. There are also like so many Danny Mata said it, like so many like ex machina looking sets. I feel like the set designers must have just rented like a bunch of hotel rooms over like a 2-week period to like film all these love scenes or all these hookup scenes, I guess. Then finding out about Heated Rivalry, also my timeline ended up recommending me something about Ember and Ice, which is this like audio story on the Quinn app, which is basically just an app for like erotic audio stories, like audiobooks and things like that, which I think I'd heard of, but not really. But then I ended up, a few days ago, I listened to like all 3 episodes of Ember and Ice, and goddamn, that is enjoyable. And that inspired the short and the TikTok that I made being like, that is worth the price of admission. You are fucking welcome. Like, it is, yes, absolutely. And it also has Hudson Williams and Connor Story, and their voices and everything. They seem very comfortable with each other, and I'm happy that they have that friendship where they can feel comfortable doing stuff like that. They do such a great job. And yeah, so I have felt much more in tune with that aspect of self-care for myself, and it's made it a lot easier, and a lot I can feel a lot better about it. And also it's more than if I were to watch porn, and it's also like been way more enjoyable than watching porn. It's just everything I love. It's everything I love. So that kind of took me out of my burst of I was kind of on a little bit of a hamster wheel for a minute of just like film, edit, upload, film, edit, upload, film, edit, upload. And I do really want to get back into it because I love making content. But honestly, I kind of needed a little bit of a breather where I was still making the short form every day and forcing myself to sing, in the best way possible. Getting myself to sing every day and just continuously uploading. But like I needed a little bit of a breather from the hamster wheel and to just be a woman for a minute. A woman that really likes attractive dudes. And I really hope that fans aren't too weird with the actors in like wanting them to disclose their sexuality and their relationship status and their personal lives and shit like that, because it seems that they've made it very clear they don't want to get too personal about that, and that's totally valid. I hope that they become friends with Kit Connor and Joe Locke, because I know from Heartstopper, which is also a show I love, even though it's a lot more wholesome, but I love wholesome shit too, okay? But I know that was something Kit Connor especially had to deal with. He basically was like forced to come out as bisexual when he was 18. But I feel like that could be helpful for them to talk to him. Not like these dudes should be friends, but like I feel like they would have a similar experience, and that would be helpful. I love the female supporting characters. Aside from the little tiny microaggressive comment from Rose, she is a queen. I love how supportive she is of Shane. Elena, Maria, Svetlana, Yuna the momager, we love that. Literally like one of my favorite I love you scenes I think I may have ever seen in my life. The phone call confession was everything. But yeah, like damn, the hot scenes are fucking hot. The episode 4 when they say each other's names for the first time, that's amazing. Also has some good music. that made me rediscover My Moon, My Man by Feist. That's such a fucking good song. That is the perfect song for the opening montage of episode 4. It's so good. The fucking moment where it's like, you come here, no, you come here, no, you come here. Their first time, so fucking good. Episode 6, the fucking phone call blowjob is so fucking good. It's, yeah, the scene in episode 5 in Florida where they're like, I like you a little too much, and then they both kind of like, Ilya lets his walls down a tiny bit and they like reconnect. So fucking good. And it's just so good. It's so good. So I am so excited for the next book to come out in September. I'm tensing my hands again. I'm excited for season 2. And this is also helping kind of feed me until part 2 of season 4 of Bridgerton comes out. But I am just primarily, this is my number one. This is my number one shit now. This is my number one. But I am still excited for season 4 because Benedict is one of my favorite characters. But yeah, so that is a very honest update from me, okay, on things that have been helpful for dopamine and serotonin and just everything in between. And goddamn, I fucking love this show. And I really like these actors, and they're so charismatic, and they're both so fucking sexy and beautiful. And I wish them the world. And Ember and Ice is fucking great. And I really should listen to more shit on the Quinn app. Let me know if you have any recommendations, if you've been on that app for a minute. And yeah, and my cheeks are starting to hurt. And this is like this is like a lot for me to share, but it's like, you know, whatever. If I ever get sponsored, if I ever like reach the point where I'm able to like be monetized and get sponsored, I know some brands like don't consider you until you have like 30,000 subscribers or whatever. So it might be a while, but I feel like I'd be one of those people that get sponsored by fucking like the Quinn app or like Balessa or Adam and Eve or Honey Love and shit like that. Because sex positivity and sex education and also like reproductive health education and information about my experiences with it is kind of, I'd like to think that that's also like a part of my brand as well. And, you know, positivity towards sex workers, also wanting to like adequately educate about possible dangers of it, just mindfulness towards it, without condemnation of it at the same time. So like, this is a sex positive space. Hi. I wanted to add in a few little things. One, this is going to be a very disorganized video. I've mentioned this a few times, but I thought of some things afterward. So, one, I have not seen enough people mention this. Is it just me, or does Hudson Williams look like a mix of Mario Lopez and Keanu Reeves? I've heard multiple people say that he looks like Keanu. I've not heard enough people say the Mario Lopez thing, and that's very true. Number 2, I don't think I mentioned the main thing that kind of took me out of this series is how disorienting it is to follow the timeline. Reading the book helped because the months were a little more specified, but the All-Star Game, for example, it just says 2017, and I had no idea when in 2017. I guess it happens in January according to the book. And so then by the time we're in July and they're at the cottage, I was like, how long has this been? When they say months, how many months? So it was kind of hard to follow. And then like the Scott and Kip timeline in relation to the Olympics, I wasn't sure when things were happening in relation to each other. It was kind of hard to follow along. So that was a thing. Another thing that was funny that I noticed in a commentary video about it, Shane is so dumb because in episode 4, Hayden calls him out for like, oh, so Lily's just a buddy. And he's like, what? And Hayden's like, I know you text a girl named Lily. And Shane's like, no, I don't. It was like, girl, the whole point is to pretend that you're texting a girl. It doesn't really work if you pretend that you're not even texting that girl when people literally see that you're texting a girl. Also, it took me way too long. It wasn't until like 2 days ago that I realized that Lily and Jane are like the girl versions of Ilya and Shane. I was like, oh, that's why they picked those names. I also realized a detail. So because it was kind of hard for me to follow, like keep track of when things were happening in relation to each other, I didn't pick up on how fucking cute this was. But so in 2014 at the NHL Awards, they're Ilya and Shane are in the bathroom, and Shane's like, when did your English get so good? And Ilya makes a joke about how he reads the New Yorker, and he's like, Shane's like, do you? And Ilya's like, no, it's boring. And then Shane goes, my dad loves it. And then at the cottage in 2017, Ilya's asking about his parents and stuff. And he goes, and your dad is boring? Is that where you get your boring from? And Shane's like, he's not boring. And then Ilya goes, oh, so it's exciting reading The New Yorker. He remembered that shit from 3 years earlier that he just mentioned super offhand. I was like, bitch, I didn't even realize. I was like, goddamn. Oh my God. This literally, it makes me so giddy to talk about. It's so funny. And also, if you follow me on TikTok or anything, I was just kind of low-key spam posting, just being like, will you come to my cottage this summer? That just lives rent-free in my head. It makes me so happy. Okay. Oh, there was also this detail that a commenter on one of these videos pointed out, that at the All-Star game, okay, we're like all over the place with this, but like we have been the whole video. At the All-Star game, Ilya like sees Shane enter the bar and start walking toward him, and he like, I think he says okay to himself and then takes a swig of his beer as if he's like settling himself before he talks to him. That was a tiny detail that I didn't even notice until someone pointed it out. I'm like, oh my God, the acting. I saw some fucking people, like the Dumois podcast or whatever, which I've never watched, were joking that people aren't watching this for the acting, which I honestly found really annoying and gross and honestly like a little sexist, dare I say, because people, especially like, you know, girls and gays, or like people that are like sexually attracted to men that enjoy the steamy aspects of this show, like, did you know that we can appreciate multiple things about a show at the same time? There's been steamy media that I didn't enjoy as much as this show, because this show has like way more natural writing and the acting is so fucking good. The emotional nuances in the delivery, like so many little details and that just bring me back to it. That's honestly even beyond the steamy aspects. Like, yes, that's been really good and I enjoy it a lot, but like it's so much more layered than that. And it's really, yeah, I don't really appreciate when people say that the show is basically porn, because it's so much deeper than that and so much more layered. And I feel like there is this, someone made a point that I thought was interesting, that there is so much more of a tendency to characterize gay erotic media as more pornographic versus eroticism in straight media. You know, like, I don't know if as many people would call something like Game of Thrones porn versus this show. I will say, I feel like it's fair to say, for me at least, it's better than porn. I prefer it to porn because of said emotional nuance and layers, and I have an intimacy kink. But yeah, I've been kind of disappointed by some commentary channels reacting to this. And honestly, it's not even like a matter of I need all commentary channels to agree with me on media that I like. Like, I tend to really like if channels I like don't like something I enjoy and they give a good reason for that. Like Trin Lovell is a great example, is that there were a lot of things that I haven't seen her full videos, but she seemed to have a different opinion of the show than other people did, and I appreciated that. But there's certain channels, like Alex Myers, for example, where someone made a comment, and I really agree with it, of like, it seems like you watch this through shorts. Seems like you like watch clips of this on TikTok and then basically took that as the entire show and are speaking on it as if you watched it. It really does not seem like you watched the entire show, or that you really seem to understand the point of it. And he's saying like, oh, this show has no plot. It has basically no plot. And also compared it to Heartstopper, which he also said doesn't have a plot really, which I thought was kind of interesting. I mean, I get what he was saying, because then he made a point about internal versus external conflict. But I feel like this show does have a good balance between external and internal conflict. And I would hope that that's going to come through a lot more when they adapt The Long Game, which I'm so excited about. But also, I saw another comment of, I've been consuming like so much commentary on this and reading comments about it, but the scene at the cottage where they're playing the video game, and then they're like talking shit to each other, and Ilya's like, I'm on the cover of the fucking game. Someone made a great point. I'm not much of a video game person, but someone made a really good point that a lot of times games will have multiple covers. They'll have like multiple versions, and a game like that would probably have multiple covers with different players that you could pick from. And then was like, imagine if like Shane purposefully picked the version that had Ilya on the cover. We're like, oh, it's so cute. Okay. Okay, I'm just like fangirling so fucking hard. I literally like, this is my comfort show. It's my comfort show. I love it so much. Also, I saw Nicole Raffy's video about it. And I just have to make a point, okay? Because I have to acknowledge, there's been the whole drama. I feel like with shit like this, people can be so fucking dumb when people are playing queer characters and then they're like not queer in real life, and then it's the queer baiting thing. And I feel like a lot of times people are really quick to use the term queer baiting, and it's really annoying. And the actors like don't want to get into their personal life, and that's like totally fine. But then I guess people were speculating that Hudson Williams has a girlfriend, and they were like harassing this woman that's apparently his girlfriend or something like that. I just have to say, but then Nicole Raffy was like, I hate to break this to you, but he's not going to date you. And I have such a crush on Hudson Williams now. Like he's such a celebrity crush of mine now. He's like up there with fucking Matthew Gray Gubler and Harry Styles, and those are literally like my two all-time celebrity crushes. And then I mean Zac Efron is just like overall perfection. But Nicole being like, he's not gonna date you, broke my heart like way more than it had any right to, even though I logically know that that's never gonna happen, basically. We never truly know, okay, the path that life will lead us down. I just have to make it so clear, not to be like, I'm not like those people, but like I've literally never gotten the whole like, let me harass the girlfriend of the celebrity guy that I like. I've never been for that. That's never been my vibe. That's always been so stupid. One, that's pathetic, and two, it's so counterproductive. Like, why would you think that would make you more attractive to the person that you have a crush on? Whether they're a celebrity or not, normal person, whatever, just like hating on the person that someone you like is with or might be with or has a crush on or whatever that has so never been in my spirit. And I also like, it's been kind of the opposite, honestly. I remember like when I was like 13, I've mentioned before that I was like a diehard Directioner. I remember back when Louis Tomlinson was dating Eleanor Calder, I was like obsessed with Eleanor Calder. It would be like the opposite. I wouldn't be hating on the girlfriends or the crushes or whatever. I would be like standing them. I would be standing them almost equally as much as the actual guy. I was obsessed with Eleanor Calder. I wanted to know her makeup routine. I would like reblog pictures of her on Tumblr all the time. I like wanted to recreate her outfits. I was like following her on everything. Like I was so enamored with her that I just have to brag. I feel like I've low-key always been a girl's girl in that way of like doing shit like that is just like the ultimate pick-me behavior. But with that being said, Nicole Raffy being like, Hudson's not going to date you, I was like, you're probably right. Hi, I didn't like fully turn my lights on again and everything, but I just wanted to add in, I am upset that they excluded the Skype call scene, okay? And also, if y'all haven't read the books, I guess this would be, I don't know, a spoiler or whatever, but like, they excluded two things that, considering how steamy other parts of the show are, I was like, why did you take these out? Because they actually, I feel like they're important to the plot. So one, it was the Skype call, which was so good in the book, but also something that they allude to in the Skype call is after the hotel gym encounter scene, there's a scene where Shane like goes back to his room and jerks off thinking about Ilya. And also they referenced the fact that Shane had a girlfriend at the time that he got drafted and was like realizing that he wasn't, basically remembering that he's not into her, and then jerking off to him and was like really struggling with having feelings for a man. That internal struggle wasn't really addressed. I mean, it kind of is obviously in the show, but like that was an important moment. But I'm kind of upset that they excluded those, and they just cut when Ilya's in Moscow and then they're on the call and he's like, put your glasses back on, and then they just cut. I'm like, bruh, we need I want to have a fucking phone sex scene in season 2. They don't really detail it in the long game the way that they do in the fucking Heated Rivalry book, though, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. But I saw someone on Reddit be like, there are so many sex scenes in the book, it's like unnecessary how many there are. But honestly, I feel like in the book, same as the show, I feel like each one plays a role. I feel like each one serves a purpose to the plot. I feel like each one kind of like feeds back into the plot. I personally don't interpret really any of them as just like sex for the sake of sex. Like, it's sexy and fun, but I feel like each one has an like a deeper purpose for the plot. That's my personal opinion. But yes, I missed the Skype call. And like, it includes reference to Shane having been with other men since he like freaked out, and I actually don't know if it happened after he freaked out and left Ilya's place, or if it just happened like throughout the years while they were meeting up on and off. But he like admits to having been with other people, which I don't think is the narrative in the show. I think they're sticking with Ilya being the only guy that Shane has ever been with, which I'm fine with. I think that's it for now, at least, folks. But all that to say, that was a very all over the place video, but is very honest, and I appreciate if you stuck with me through this. Highly recommend Heated Rivalry and Ember and Ice, and just looking at Connor Story and Hudson Williams' faces and listening to their voices and just everything. So I hope you have a lovely day. I wish you the absolute best. Please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell to be notified when I post. I post short form pretty much every day. And yeah, I appreciate you. Bye.